water. I am so excited about this journey with this water. It is amazing. How we roll in this intellectual dialogue hour. We're going to be sharing information, giving introspection, and providing inspiration. So this hour, I want you to sit back, relax, be yourself, benefit yourself, challenge yourself, and most of all, inspire yourself. You're tuned in to Making Waves with Miss Darci, broadcasting live every Tuesday starting at 12 p.m. We got some bills to pay, we got some sponsors to pay, and then we're going to get this party started. So don't go anywhere. Please share the broadcast, IntellectualRadio.com and iHeartRadio station, where we guarantee to feed your brain back.
It's 2 for $5 coming at you live.
Hey, sir, welcome to Burger King. How are you? See what he orders.
No pressure. All of America's watching.
Original chicken sandwich.
Big King! And the foul.
How you going to lose when you mix and match?
Mix and match 2 large premium sandwiches for $5 only at Burger King.
Hi, my name is Team Olivia Pate. Listen to Making Waves with Miss Darci on IR and iHeartRadio station, Tuesday and Thursday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. We love you, Miss Darci.
Hey, this is Lenny Williams, and I enjoy listening to IntellectualRadio.com and Making Waves with Miss Darci.
American Express for travel and entertainment worldwide.
Just show them this, the American Express card.
Someday, I may even use it on the moon.
Oh! So you can replace plane tickets, traveler's checks, a lost art.
Really? That worked?
American Express's timeless safety and security are available on Apple Pay. The next evolution of membership is here.
It's a new year and the first anniversary of our revolutionary acne treatment. To celebrate, we have an amazing new offer for you. Order Proactive Plus, and for a special limited time, you'll pay just $19.95. Imagine yourself with skin so clear and beautiful, you feel confident to go after all the things you want. Make it happen today with Proactive Plus.
That's a huge difference. Look at that. Proactive Plus makes me feel amazingly beautiful.
Proactive Plus is dermatologist developed to help seek out and fix problem areas on your skin. And it's proven to work 4 times faster than the leading prescription.
This product is doing it. I started seeing results with Proactive Plus within the first week.
Now's the best time ever to order because we're offering extra savings to first-time customers. Call 1-800-773-5681 to get our 3-step system plus free gifts and free shipping. All just $19.95.
I use Proactive Plus every day. Like, I literally use this stuff.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, we're broadcasting live, Making Waves with Miss Darci, right here on IntellectualRadio.com. I am your on-air host, Miss Darci D.
My name is Brill Banks Mitchell. I am Darci's co-host. I'm really happy to be here, so thank you so much for having me.
And we have a gentleman in the building. I'll let him introduce himself.
Hey, what's going on? This is Tone Duncan. I am definitely privileged to be with these beautiful ladies here. Glad to be on the show.
And if today is your birthday, happy birthday to you. Smiles and laughter, joy and cheer, happiness that stays throughout the year. Hope your birthday brings you all these and more, filling your life with surprises and joys galore. Happy birthdays for Making Waves with Miss Darci and crew. So before we get started and talk to Tom, we're not going to dwell on any negative news because there's a lot of it there. But my deep thought for today is your conscience rarely stops you from doing anything. It just stops you from enjoying it. So that's my deep thought for today. And then we're going to talk about, here's a look at the things we do and things that you might say, So we talked about, we did one last week, Burl.
That was good.
So you tell me if you agree or if you think this is true or false, Burl and Tone. 55% of us drink 3 or more cups of coffee per day.
I definitely think it's more than that. I know I'm a coffee.
I am. I only need I just need that one though. I can drink on it all day, but I just need one and then I'm done. You have more than one?
Oh, definitely. Like a 5-cup girl.
Really?
I am.
Oh my God. Okay.
Well, I'll just say first and foremost, nothing that I drink out of is an actual cup. It starts off at about 2.5 to 3 cups in size, right? Because we don't really do the 6-ounce cups, right?
No.
That's real technical.
Right. So,
That's right. I'm like, wait a minute. How many do you have?
So let's just say that I have at least 3 servings of coffee.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm way down here. Y'all got me beat. Right. I love it. It's 80%. I guess I'm in the 55% because I only have one. Right. Yeah. Now, Tone may know a little bit about this next one than me and you, Burl. But we can definitely chime in. So 45% of men admit to making a complete fool of themselves while opening a bottle of wine. Do you think that's true or false?
You can go ahead and take the first one.
Well, I'll say most guys don't know how to open wine. First
Are
and
you
foremost,
serious?
yeah, because opening wine is really about either a technique or a very, very modern device. I know most men don't have the technique, so as I look around, I hope for them to have a good device.
See, I don't know. I just say here, open this, but I never see what they go through to actually open it. They may go into another room or they keep doing this and they're doing this, but you know. So do you think it's more than 45%?
I think it's more than 45%.
Think it's more than 45?
Well, I think the average person has no clue how to open it. They're assigned a task that they've never had training for.
They get it done though, and I think at the end of the day, that's all.
It does take a while. Now that I think about it, it's not like right away.
Most guys just hope that the cork doesn't end up inside of the bottle.
That's it. So it's actually 92%.
Wow, that's up there. That's
wow. 38%, and I'm sure we can agree to this. I don't know how Tone is going to feel about this next one. 38% of women lose interest in a potential male partner after learning he lives at home with his mommy.
Definitely. I think that's much higher.
I think it's higher than 38.
Sure. I'd say maybe 3.5% actually stick around.
I think it's less than that. I'm like,
really? Okay, so it's 88%.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that sounds more realistic.
88%. Right. Oh my God. 29% of men have worn sunglasses at night because they think it makes them look cool.
What's your percent?
29.
Oh, much higher.
I think it's higher than that. I see people walk into an event and it's dark outside and they coming in with shades on. So I'm like, what?
I think a lot of celebrities do that, and so they kind of.
I'll say in the 80s they had a whole song about it.
What song was that?
I wear my sunglasses at night.
It was a song?
Oh, there was a little bit of it was in a different genre.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I have to look that one up.
now you're gonna have me looking that one up too, because I'm now trying to figure out what that is. It's 54%. I thought it would have been higher than that. 25% men don't know how to turn on a washing machine. Come on.
Oh, I think
I think that's
don't know how to.
I think they know
how to do that. I think most men know how to do that.
I think you don't. I think
you know how to do
it. A lot of credit. I know how to turn on my washing machine.
Well, okay,
so. Are you saying it's guys really that don't know how to turn?
A lot of guys have never had to. A lot of guys have really, really caring moms, and then significant.
Oh my goodness!
And you know what I call that? That's enabling.
That definitely.
That's not okay.
Oh my goodness!
That's just not okay.
So it's actually 44%.
Yeah, there you go. You know, I'm batting 100.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, he's kind of good. Wow. Last one: 16% of office employees have a candy jar. I think it's higher than that.
I think it's higher than that too. I think that's just a way of kind of bringing people together, a sweet treat during the day.
And you have to have something like on your desk to kind of.
And it kind of gives you a plus with your coworkers.
Tony looking at us like.
Well, it implies that you're going to share. I don't ever take that to mean that though. Most people have only the candies. They'll eat in their little candy.
Or they have it hid somewhere like myself and say, "What you eating? Oh, did you want one? Did you want one?"
Well, we all have different experiences.
Right. With that. So, I had to share that. I always like to do the amazing facts because some of them are just really, really amazing. Mm-hmm. So now it brings us to our topic, Mr. Tone Duncan, aka True. Is it Benez? Benez. See, I hate to mess up a name. So tell us a little bit. I got the pleasure of meeting him here at Intellectual Radio. I watched some of his live broadcasts. We went to a podcast event together, and I see him on social media with these smoothies in this blender. Okay. And I'm like, Okay, I like that one, but I don't eat that. So can he take that out? And I want everything but that. So every time he shows a smoothie, I don't know how many days straight he did it, but I will look at the smoothie because I'm such a picky eater, and I say, okay, I want everything in there. When he showed the ingredients, I say, I want everything. And I'm at home, right? I'm like, can you take that out? And Elliot's looking at me like, that man can't hear you. And I'm like, can you just take that out? Can I get one? And then when he take it and turn it up, I'd be like, I want one. And I'd be like, I need one. So I asked him to come in and bless us, with his presence. He did a raw. How many days raw?
Yeah. So right now we're doing 30 days raw fruit detox.
30 days raw. Now, if I could just do 5 days, I'm a meat lover. I don't need no potatoes. I don't need no rice. I don't have a problem with bread. I'm not a sweet eater. I don't have to have cakes or cookies. I don't like frosting. I need meat. Mm-hmm. And that's my problem. But I got my water, so it's kind of keeping me straight. But Tone, tell us a little bit about how you got into health and fitness. Share that with us.
Yeah, so I've always been somebody. So I wrestled in high school and after high school, and I've always been somebody who kind of focused on fitness, but I didn't necessarily associate nutrition with fitness. And then so I started to kind of just follow different diet styles and what have you. And obviously the paleo diet was really big. What used to be called the Atkins diet then morphed into the paleo diet.
Did you try that?
I did it for a substantial amount of time.
Really? And how did that work for you?
Really well.
Okay.
Yeah, it worked really well. And so I opened up a gym. And when I opened up a gym, it was one of the ways that I would help counsel people to lose weight and to stay in shape.
And where are you located?
So I'm out in Wilmette, so just to the north of Chicago.
You off the hook, because I would be there telling me, I can't do this. Can you show me how to work this machine?
You would do it.
You think I would do it?
I know you do it. Okay. Yeah, and so from there, I started to experience some health issues in my family, right? So people that were really close to me, my father more specifically, was having some real health issues. So he had gotten really sick, and after he'd gotten sick and passed away, I started to really wonder deeply about nutrition. And so I enrolled into Cornell for their plant-based nutrition program. And I had come to the conclusion after that what the real problem that we were having is that we're people that were intended to eat more agriculturally and not as and definitely not as processed and as fast food and as culturally distorted as we eat right now. And it's created, it's just an endemic issue. So I now talk to people more about bringing the foods that you're supposed to eat back into your diet, more specifically fruits and vegetables.
But now I hear people talk about that. That's hard. They can't afford it. Mm-hmm. They don't have it in my community. Right. My mom just takes us through the drive-thru at Wendy's or White Castle or Burger King or favorite McDonald's. And I grew up on McDonald's. I wasn't a White Castle person, but I grew up on McDonald's, the Whopper. Now when I see those, it does nothing for me because it doesn't taste like meat. And I'm just really funny about what I eat and who prepares it and where I get it from.
That's more of a mindset, though, isn't it? I mean, kind of the way we eat now, it's kind of a mindset. Not only is it a habit, which is what you're talking about, it's also a mindset thinking that we need certain things in order to be healthy, meat being one of them, that you have to eat meat. Right. But you're saying that that's really not true.
Well, I think it's ingrained, first and foremost, from a socioeconomic standpoint. I mean, to be able to eat meat is to be successful in life. Because there was a time that the majority of Americans only ate meat once or twice a week. And we don't know that, but I mean, we eat more meat than mountain lions now. Here's the situation that we don't really take into consideration. And that is that, yes, we definitely need to have protein, but protein in and of itself comes from the amino acids that you're supposed to be getting in your fruits and vegetables. We're taught that because our education is so driven by consumer interests, by the meat and dairy industry. We're taught that we need such an abundance of protein, but the truth is when you look at the greatest proof of what human requirement is for protein. You look at breast milk for babies, and babies are growing at such a fast pace. I mean, at any point in life, that's when you really need protein for growth. And we find out that breast milk is only 4%. I'll say it again. It's only 4% protein by volume. And you say to yourself, oatmeal is 6% protein by volume. Now, that doesn't imply that you could just eat oatmeal. See, what human beings were intended to do was to vary their intake and all the different fruits and vegetables that were available. So when you look at someone like, you look at what happened in Ethiopia, where there was such malnourishment and they were dying from a lack of protein. Well, what happened was all of their usable farmland was monocultured for just growing wheat. And so for that reason, they weren't able to have the various trees, the various fruits, the various vegetables that were more indigenous to their culture. Because again, the corporate America took over, and corporate, Monsantos and all these different global conglomerates. So that these are the things that we are finding out. But more importantly, I tell people it's not about whether or not you eat meat, and it's not about whether or not you're a vegan. It's really more about whether you're getting your foods from whole sources, right? So if you eat meat, there shouldn't be processed meats. There shouldn't be hamburger patties. There shouldn't be, fish sticks. They should be lean pieces of as close to healthy raised meats as you can. For some people, it's more of a cultural issue. My mother raised me like this, and her mother raised her like this, and such and such. And to identify with one's culture is oftentimes to identify with one's foods. So it is kind of that deal as well.
So isn't when you know better, you do better? Because now we were raised on I'll be the first one to the table, right? But then I didn't eat vegetables, so I was the last one to leave, because they'd be like, don't leave this table, because I would eat my meat and rice or whatever, but I would leave the vegetables. And they was like, don't leave from this table until you eat your food. And I'd be like, you know what? This is like torture. I don't want this stuff. And they were saying that it's good for you. And to this day, it's only a couple of vegetables that I will eat, literally, because I just wouldn't eat right. And so I understand now, but because I just didn't care for them for whatever reason, I hear parents or single parents or even a regular family, husband and wife and kids, they don't have the time to prepare a meal. Now, my mom did, and she worked, but it's a different generation than back in the day. When Big Mama was living, or when your parents lived, you had a full cooked meal. Even if she worked, she still made sure you got a meal. But it's a little different now in the millennium, where they're not cooking. To them, this is a meal where you get a hamburger, some French fries, and a drink. And for me, pop was my biggest thing, because pop just really blows you up. So for me, I agree with what you're saying, Tone, but to me, when you know better, you do better. So at what point, because when you're an adult, even if you have the stigma, that's how you was raised, you can still step out of that box and make choices.
You can. I think that coupled with that, making a different choice, is that there's a serious economic issue. I mean, there's so many food deserts, even in the Chicago area, and that's real, where you can go and get a Happy Meal for a family.
And be done,
as opposed to going to buy broccoli.
Right.
And no dishes to wash, just dump it in the garbage.
Absolutely.
And every kitchen's clean.
And that's very real. And a lot of these things are backed by big businesses like Coca-Cola.
Right.
Those kinds of things. So it has big feet. It extends far and wide. So how do we even approach that on a small level? I mean, it has to be a number of approaches in order to reach our goal.
So I do a campaign called Operation Desert Smoothie, and Operation Desert Smoothie is specifically focused in on what we call food deserts, right? Because ultimately, these are the areas where, as you said, their greatest impact on learning how to eat a healthy how to eat healthier in their lifestyles. So what we do is we go out and we look in these food deserts for opportunities to connect with kids. Usually they're at parks, or they're at churches, or they're even at schools. And what we do is we provide 100% fruit smoothies to all the kids and just interact with them and talk more about it. Now, we also get an opportunity to talk to the parents. And what we talk to the parents about is how to eat healthy on a budget. Because too often we don't understand how to shop.
We really don't.
So really it's really that. We go into whatever the store is closest to us, and we say, well, make it happen right here.
I got $100.
You know?
What can we get for $100?
Absolutely. And that's real, though. That's so real.
But now, with that being said, truthfully, you have to remember the only subsidized foods in this country are agriculture. So,
Interesting.
So we have to remember that agriculture is what's subsidized. Now, unfortunately, the wrong agriculture is subsidized, in my opinion, because it's subsidized from a poverty perspective. And so what happened is, in order to ensure people don't die of starvation, there were grains and things of that nature that were subsidized. But here's the real issue. The issue is that then opportunities presented for businesses to come in and create entire foods genres out of these subsidized foods.
Correct.
So now you have a situation where your average person in poverty is dying of obesity.
Absolutely.
And obesity-related diseases.
Absolutely.
Never in the history of the world have people who have been impoverished died of obesity. These two usually are eclectic. But the reality is that the foods that we truly need, the ones that are deeply enriched with nutrition, the ones that are highest in nutrition are lowest in calories, and the ones that are highest in calories are oftentimes lowest in nutrition.
Absolutely.
And then why is it that, like, when you say the mindset and I got $100 and this is what I'm gonna do for my family, but what I'm noticing is that the grocery stores that would supply the fresh vegetables and fruits, you got to drive outside of your area or your location, but you got a restaurant on every corner.
Right.
But hot dog stand.
They're not in it. The community, and unfortunately, I hate to say this, but it's just the truth, at least from my perspective, is that the businesses are not aligning themselves with creating healthy constituents, if you will. Healthy community. They're not of that. It's normally a bottom dollar kind of thing. And because of that, that's the drive.
Right.
So whatever is 3 for $1, will get people through the door, because typically you'll buy something else. And so you end up spending more money at that one store than you normally would. And for a lot of business owners, that's the plus.
Right. I do think that I was really conflicted with this for a while, because I understand that the majority of the grocery stores, or the small little corner stores in our communities, are owned and operated by people who do not live in our communities.
That is correct.
Right? We know that. This is kind of, especially as we kind of go down the socioeconomic ladder a little bit, right? We start to realize that most of these people are parasitical in that they extract income, they extract the riches, but they don't actually replenish, restore, or promote. So it's okay. We get that. But at the same time, they may be greedy, but they're no fools. If there was an economic benefit to providing those agricultural products, they would definitely supply them. But so here's the deal. The deal is that we have to teach our mothers how to shop again, because our mothers, who are the primary drivers of the health of the household, they have to understand that the quick mark is for the things that you need quickly. They are not where you create the entire nourishment profile for the home. Right. So for that reason, I always tell people, they are not the cheapest foods. You actually pay more for the snacks you think you're paying less for. And I give an example. I say, well, how much was that candy bar? Okay, that candy bar, did it fill you up? No, it just kind of appeased your appetite momentarily. Well, do you know that a banana is only about 14 cents?
And it fills you up.
Okay.
I love.
And if it doesn't, get another one. Yeah. Now we're at what?
That's true.
We're at 28 cents. Okay.
So what was your response when I know you were in Maywood with the smoothie campaign. When you talked to the parents and the children, what was the response?
Right.
When you made the smoothies for them, what was the reaction from the children as well as for the parents?
Well, it was twofold. First off, they were blown away that the smoothies were 100% fruit, and that there were, except for the green smoothies we did that had spinach or kale, depending. They were blown away. There were no additives or preservatives. There were no byproducts that we just tossed in there to kind of create volume, right? So when they found that out, they were really shocked. What they were most shocked about is that each one of those smoothies had a per cup cost of about $1.12. And that really kind of blew them away, because again, when you realize that you waste money thinking you are saving, it is a little disheartening, because it kind of flies in the face of your argument. right? So if your argument is, I got to get this stuff because I can't afford to eat healthy. But then we look at it, itemize what you've spent, and see that what you bought in the name of saving $1 cost you plenty more dollars. And you got none of the nutrient that you need.
And you hungry. The kids is hungry again. You're ready to eat again.
Right.
But so that's more money.
Exactly. I think that most.
But the one argument that most people do argue successfully is a matter of convenience. The argument of convenience does win out when you don't prioritize your week. How many times do you have to go to the grocery store a week? Because if you are telling me it's more convenient to go to that corner store, what you're saying to me is that you've never added the math of how many times you've got to keep going back to that corner store. See, because if you take all those trips to the corner store, all those times, add them up, it is the exact same amount of time it would have taken for you to go to a grocer, get the real food, have it in your cabinets, and actually eat the food in your home. But see, we don't want the cup of coffee on the counter. We want to go to Starbucks. See, now that is no longer an issue of practicality as it relates to time constraints. Now it's more just the wanting to have something that you don't have something that's outside of the home, this need to have something, this need
choice.
To go
it's a
get.
Choice.
Exactly.
So because you can have coffee at home and then go pay $11 for one cup of coffee when you can go and buy the container of Folgers or whoever, right? You can even buy Starbucks if that's what you want.
Right.
But it's something about to me it goes back to the mindset though, where you have the poor mindset, where you have the middle class, and then you have the middle class millionaire status, and then you have the billionaire. So each person is only living for that time frame. You know, poor is right now. They don't know if they're gonna have dinner, but they want what they can get for right now. They can't think past that. How do you change that?
We know those things are
true.
And
how
do you change it?
So going back to the when you know better, you do better. Categorically true. But there are categories because you can know, but you have no strategy. See, because information can only be implemented with a solid strategy. So to know better would have to involve a strategy, and the strategy has to be able to show people how to make eating healthier economic and convenient. So a lot of times the real issue that we've had is that people they use their phone for everything that conveniences their truth. Then they don't know you got a Peapod right there that you can have all those fresh agricultural products, all your fruits, all your vegetables, even all your lean meats. It can all be delivered to your door. You don't even have to go shopping. And guess what? And you pay less.
Yeah, that's information. People don't know that.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So that's information.
So what they would do, Google Peapod and see what's the closest to them.
Right. And then there's other competitors too. You know, there's the competitors.
Because I think Walmart is getting ready to do it, and I think Aldi's was doing it too, right? Was Aldi's?
I'm not familiar with Aldi's, but
I know Walmart.
They're doing.
Well, as Peapod makes more money, there'll be more competitors.
Absolutely.
Because everybody wants the money that Peapod's making. You know, what Walgreens and what Walmart, rather more specifically, was doing was trying to put together a model to compete with Amazon.
That's what I was going to say, Amazon.
And so, and because again, these are issues where people are living out of their phones now. I mean, all we have to do is now just kind of push it out a little further. So instead of using it to order Domino's, we can use it to order our foods for the month. We can
because you can order restaurant food now with Uber Eats.
Yeah,
exactly. So everything is wow.
And so it's very doable. It's just a matter of starting an implementation process that allows it to be a habit.
Were the parents receptive when you were
very receptive? Because again, when we start talking about the three most important things, first off, their parents. So one of the most important things for 99.9% of all parents is the development and opportunities for their children. I don't care what situation they're in. Most parents, I have not met a parent that didn't say, listen, my child, you know, being smart and ready in school, having the nutrition they need to be competitive and successful. These are things that, you know, they do cross all the different planes, if you will. But with that being said, oftentimes they're at work full time, or they've got all these other things full time. So when I start talking to them about, when I spend the last 5 minutes of my conversation with them, helping them set up on their phone the Peapod app.
Oh, wow.
That's
right?
what it takes, though.
That's all it takes, is because once you have it, then there's a dialogue where I try to get them to start a Facebook group, right? And that Facebook group allows some leader in there, whoever helped to organize it at that particular location, because typically somebody will talk to me on Facebook, or somebody who's been to one of my presentations will say, hey, would you do that at my church? Or, hey, would you do that at our book club? Or would you do that, at our park? And so I'll come over there, start it off, but I would expect some of these influencers to start taking the lead for their own communities and start to be a force. And then we lock that in with other nutritionists. And I mean, there's so many service providers that are available if that becomes something you're interested in. But creating that interest and showing a simple strategy, that doesn't mean you got to change who you are in order to enjoy the benefits of it. That's what's most important.
We're going to take a pause, but I do want to come back and talk about what the raw diet has did for you for 30 days, the smoothies and, the different types and what they do, the effect, and how individuals who are listening, who are sharing the broadcast, can be a part of that, that journey as a resource or lead person, as you will, for the community in that area. Because once you set the stage, if nobody keeps it up, it dwindles and it just goes away. They go back to the norm. They may do it for a while, but if someone, like he said, and that I think that's a brilliant idea for someone to start a page in the Western suburb community where it would encompass 4 or 5 towns, and so maybe get 3 people. So when you couldn't post or talk about something, then Tony could, and when Tony couldn't, then Darci could, and where it's not weighing on one person, and we would take turns and just keep talking about, because in order for that to continue, you have to have that drive, and if there's no drive and dedication, it's not going to.
And it's a collaborative effort.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that and how other communities or whoever is listening can be a part, and we want to talk about your journey with Facebook. With the smoothie. So you're tuned in to Making Waves with Ms. Darci, IntellectualRadio.com, which is an iHeartRadio station, and we are guaranteed to feed your brain. Please share the broadcast. We'll take a pause for the cause. We're going to come back and talk about the smoothies, the raw diet. We're going to have Burl talk about the essential oils, which she got me a little hooked, and that's really hard for me. With the essential oils, as far as the migraines concerned, anything somebody said they got a cure for, well, not a cure, but a remedy for migraines, I'm all ears, and I'm reluctant to try stuff. But if it's gonna help a little bit, I'm gonna step in. I'm just gonna ease in a little bit, and then we're gonna close out with my flat tummy water. So stay tuned. IntellectualRadio.com and iHeartRadio station. Back in a moment. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. If you're just tuning in and Making Waves with Ms. Darci, we're talking to the smoothie guy, the raw diet. Oh, I shouldn't say raw. What do you call it? Raw? Just a cleanse?
Yeah, we do raw detox. I call it detox.
You call it detox. Now, why do you call it a detox? Because
it's kind of funny, but the reason why we call it a detox is because, again, when you realize the foods that your body is naturally supposed to eat, and you understand the amount of energy it takes to break down foods that it's not supposed to eat, then you understand that the same energy that your body would typically use to help to fight off the diseases that are constantly affecting you. When you understand that the same calorie energy is being misdirected, then when you go into a natural food source, a food source that your body is already designed to break down and use efficiently, then you are detoxing by default, because now that energy is back to fight off all of the various sicknesses that try to permeate the body daily.
Is your body like in a shock? Is it like, does your body like go into a shock?
Your body's always in shock. It's just that you've been in shock so long you don't know.
You're numb.
I mean, right. That's exactly what it is. And so what ends up happening is that like right now I'm doing a 30-day raw fruit detox.
And what day are you on now?
So today is day 3 of week 4. Right? So we're 3 days in on the 4th week. I'll probably extend it out to 40 days.
And so I know you don't have the sluggish feeling or the dragging feeling, because I know that.
Yeah.
But how is your thinking and your mobility?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, when you're eating foods that your body was designed to eat, you think clearer, you sleep better, you're more intellectually engaged. Your personality is more consistent because your emotions are more even toned. What ends up happening is you start looking at some of the studies that they did on children that were coming to school with snacks opposed to breakfast, right? Yeah. A bag of Flamin' Hots instead of a bowl of oatmeal. And you start to see all of the different things that they have noticed. You realize that, okay, that's not just kids.
Right.
Okay, that's what happens to all of us who stop somewhere and we get this completely processed breakfast sandwich. Not one piece of it is natural. Not one piece of it you could explain the ingredients within a full breath of air.
Because they just put it in the microwave, and I have a problem with that. You can't put no egg and it say it's ready in like 2 minutes and say, here you go.
Right.
That's true. But one of the things that I'm wondering about, not wondering about, but I think a lot of people may be wondering about is, what is it when you say a raw diet? What does that actually mean?
So it's so what ends up happening is I look for foods that you do not need to cook to eat. Now, there may be foods you choose to cook, like, for instance, spinach, right?
But that's like sauté, so that's still cooking.
No, you don't have to cook it at all. You can eat it raw, right? You know that because you put it in smoothies.
Right. Now put it in salads. But eating it raw, but which?
But
raw means you don't have to cook it.
Raw means that you don't use foods that require cooking. So we know that there's foods that you have to cook, right? I mean, you can't eat them without cooking them first.
So would you have a sandwich, like a
so you can't have
wrap with that?
Right.
No
so
bread,
all those
though.
have to be cooked, right? So, like, for instance, right now I'm on an all 30-day raw fruit. So there's no bread. There's
no potatoes.
No potatoes, right?
No rice.
No rice, right? No.
And spaghetti. Look, I'm trying.
So we're talking about right. So have you ever grabbed fruit on the way out?
Yeah, I have a banana and tangerine in the car right now.
Right. So,
but then what you gonna eat after you eat that?
Well, if you got another banana, another tangerine, or maybe you want to move around and eat some watermelon. Maybe there's a cantaloupe that you really haven't had in a while.
So you just eat that all day long, and then you drink water.
Right. Yeah, and you don't drink water.
Huh?
Why would you drink water? All your food is hydrated.
Now that's surprising.
Yeah, there's no reason to drink water. You drink water when you're on a processed meal diet. When you're eating foods that are predominantly water, right? Watermelon, cantaloupe.
But you're not dehydrated. You don't drink no.
There's no reason. You won't be dehydrated? No, there's no reason to. Absolutely no reason to. What you'll find out is that people drink water because their diet is it lacks hydration. All right. And
wow.
And unfortunately, we're so far removed from natural food sources I mean, we are so processed, and when there's so much, I'll give you another thing that really causes us to be so thirsty, where you say, how could you do it without? Well, first and foremost, you eat foods that have a salt, right? Even if we don't know they have a lot of salt, they have a lot of salt.
And sugar.
Yeah, and sugar. And these things create a need to have to drink. Water. And then obviously you're eating foods, majority of people eat a lot of grains and a lot of starches, and none of those foods are naturally hydrated.
So a typical, I'm still stuck on what the...
I can walk you through a whole day.
Right, that's what I'm going to need.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you.
So in the morning, I may have 2 bananas and an apple. Right.
Okay.
And then, and that's what I'll eat at, say, 5 in the morning. Then about 7:30, I might cut up a cantaloupe and have a cantaloupe. And then maybe at 10:30 or 11 o'clock, I might have a couple pears. And then maybe around 1:30, I may decide, man, I really want some more of that watermelon. Right.
So every 2 to 3 hours, you're eating
whenever
something.
You're hungry. Well, for me, my lifestyle doesn't allow me to eat but every few hours, right?
Okay.
But I mean, if you look at all of the contemporary nutrition studies, they tell you should be eating often.
You do, because I've got to people even with the water, because drinking the water, even if they're eating, they still should be eating healthy. But if they're not, the water is going to suppress their appetite. But they call me and say, I'm not hungry, but you still have to eat, because then your body is going to hold it, because it's not going to know when you're going to feed it again. So I'm telling people, especially people who are diabetics, they can relate, because they say they have to eat something every 2 to 3 hours. Right. So I tell people, if you can't remember, that's why we have all these phones do all this stuff, right? So I have an alarm that tells me it's been 2 hours since I've eaten, and it goes all the way up until 10 o'clock. Yeah. From the time, from like 6 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. So every 2 hours, it'll say eat something. And I'll have a piece of fruit. I'll have Jell-O, just something small to keep it going. Then when it's time for me to eat, I'm really not as hungry as I originally were.
It sounds like we need
changed
to re-educate
it's really,
and
people are calling me something. I didn't know that, because now I'm not as hungry. And when I ate, I didn't finish it. Right. And it's okay, because we are trained, again, when you grow up, you can't leave the table until you finish your plate. Now, you may be finished after 1 chicken wing, but you can't get up, because that's how we were trained. Right. So you could be full, but you got to finish this other wing, and you got to eat the other green beans before you get up from the table.
I see this as a real
opportunity. So people do this as an adult.
I've
seen people say, "Oh, I'm full, but I don't want to waste this food, so let me finish it." And they sitting there like they bloated, and they got to get it down. And it's like, put a paper towel over it, put some foil over it, and wait 2 hours. Ain't nobody going to take it from you. It's not going anywhere. But again, it starts with here, because when you know better, you do better. You grown now. You don't have to, you're not wasting food. But if you're full, then stop. And I'm telling my grandbaby, my nieces, I've seen them eating. They say, oh, I'm full, but then we're going to put this up. And when you're hungry again, then you can come back and eat the rest of it. Yeah. So I'm saying this all the time now.
I think that's what we have to do.
We have to. We have to do that. And so I do want to try the raw. I am gonna, because now for me, finding fruit that's for me edible, it can't be burnt. I mean, not burnt, but like dark. I'm really picky about fruit, because I'm thinking if it looked like this, then in 2 days it ain't gonna be no more good. So I did order a what is it, from the edibles? The tree with all, and they fruit is just like, I don't know where they get this fruit from.
It's perfectly
right. So I had said I was going to do that for a week and just try it, because I love fruit. Right. Now I can eat fruit all day, but now with no meat, I'm gonna have to try that. So that's why I was asking him, what is a typical day like?
And the thing is, I work with different health populations. Some people who are borderline diabetic, we focus more on vegetables.
Oh, okay.
And we do that because most people don't understand this, but ultimately how you become diabetic is that the amount of saturated fat that you consume, it clogs your muscles and your organs. So when your muscles and organs try to elicit the insulin to pull in the sugar, there's such a blockage that they're not able to. So the sugar stays into the bloodstream and the insulin's not able to come out. So ultimately what you have to do then is you have to really cut back on your saturated fat. I say stop, but most people, I understand that's tough. So to deeply limit the amount of saturated fats and start to eat more fibrous foods that are going to make you feel full. Well, vegetables are the most fibrous foods you can possibly consume, and they're high in nutrients, low in calories. So most people who are borderline diabetic are also pretty caloric in and of their own self.
They are.
So so you'll get this nice little exchange, if you will, and then once the minimal amount of medicine is reintroduced, and the doctors are constantly, most doctors don't trust you. They don't believe that you're going to make a lifestyle change that is going to stop you from needing medicine. So it takes a little while to convince them that you have a lifestyle opposed to just a diet. And then they will minimize your medicines because if they're giving you too much medicine, that's really bad for you. So if you're eating healthy, you're going to have that reduced. And so many people that I've worked with, they've left diabetic medicine completely. Wow. Some have not, because it had gotten to a point where they still need it, but it's at such a low dosage, and they're able to eat now. They're able to eat fruit. And they're able to eat vegetables, and they're better able to appreciate when they do eat meat because it's a better cut of meat, and it's not something that's an expectation every time they eat. We don't understand the history of our eating, so we don't know how strange it is that only in America do the average person have meat for breakfast. All over the world, they don't eat meat for breakfast.
Are you serious?
They don't even consider it. I mean, only in the most westernized countries. Everywhere
really?
else.
I didn't know
Again,
that.
even all over the world, if you eat meat twice a week, that's a lot.
I wanted to say that it's really interesting because I'm glad you mentioned that because a lot of people have a very special relationship with their food, and it's very, very tough for them to change anything. Yes. They don't want to hear about it, and they certainly don't, want to do it themselves. So, what is a great way for people who aren't used to a raw diet to start just making small changes?
Yeah,
that will lead to bigger changes.
I always say this, and it's so important because Darci, you said it naturally. And that's the right way to go, is you go out and find the fruits you can tolerate. What are your favorites? Let's start to incorporate your favorites, because what people don't understand is that your palate changes. Your taste, your desires for foods change as you reintroduce the healthier foods.
That's true.
So people say to me, well, what was the benefit? What exactly? Tell me something tangible that happened when you were eating all raw. Well, I say first and foremost, I always eat all raw during the high allergy season because I have allergies.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't know it, because when I'm not eating foods that are inflammatory, my autoimmune response isn't to get all congested, because now I'm eating healthy and I'm able to stave off those reactions. And so now I sound like I don't even have allergies.
And it builds your metabolism too.
Well, it builds your metabolism. Your immune system is, first and foremost, you have to have a very strong immune system. And one of the ways that you get a strong immune system is through something called phytonutrients. Phytonutrients are the nutrients that come from fruits and vegetables, because fruits and vegetables are constantly being attacked by the environment. So they put up a guard, and you consume that guard, and you then have that guard. It's like you're eating the protection that you need, and not just the nutrients you need for energy, but also these phytonutrients that you need for your own health protection.
Yeah, I learned it in a nutrition class. So that I'm learning more now. When I went on the journey with the water, I'm not as tired. It improved I had a problem with my digestive system because of the intake of the pork, the beef, fried food. Everything kind of changed, and I could notice it every day. I wasn't sluggish. 12, 1 o'clock, I couldn't hardly keep my eyes open. And I've been and had a good night's sleep, but it's and then pop, I was drinking 2 to 3 pops a day. Everything changed when I started the water journey. It because my weight was going up instead of down. And I knew that if I kept going up, it was the tiredness, everything was going to keep doubling.
Right, it's going to get worse.
It's going to get worse. And my doctor kept saying, you got to lose weight. You're sure, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, dig, So I'm trying all these diets, and it worked for a little while, but it didn't last. it for me, I'm just gonna say for me, I tried Jenny Craig, I tried Weight Watch, I even went to Sanabella to go have a surgery. That's how serious I was. And when they say 6,600, I was like, okay, I'm no longer serious. I'm gonna have to come up with something else because that ain't gonna work. But it's been my journey for the water. It made a year, May 5th. And I can say a year ago, how I felt then and how I felt now, I felt like a different person. I literally feel like a different person. I have all this energy. So I'm still on medicine, which I'm trying to wean myself off of, but I am going to try the 7 days with the fruit and maybe inculcate some vegetables. I do eat some vegetables. It ain't a lot, but I am going to work toward that. And I think when we get older, I used to think when we get older, it requires less, but it actually requires more.
It does.
Of self-care and self-improvement. And we have to do it because we only have one body and it's the only place we had to live. So we don't take care of it. I don't care how much money you make, how many things you get to do and all this other stuff. Your health will stop you.
Your health is your wealth.
That's right. It's going to stop you. Whether you want, you say, I'm going to go do this, I'm going to go do this. I'm tired. I'm going to still keep doing it. Your body going to say, hup, you ain't going nowhere.
Right.
And it's going to shut you down. Take a pause. We're going to come back, closing remarks on how the community can get involved, how they can go slow with a raw detox with a vegetable or fruit, and how they can get in touch with you and how they can be a part of your campaign. And if they want to donate, because I saw a post about well, you tell us, you know what I'm talking about. And then, Burl, I want you to talk about the oils. I want you to talk about the oil for the migraines, but you can talk about one more too, but I need to know that because I forgot to ask you last week. And then I'm going to close out and tell you how you can get your free samples of D-Flat Tommy Water. Making Waves with Miss Darci, broadcasting live, Intellectual Radio. I am enjoying this, y'all. I'm on a high that y'all won't even know nothing about. But stay tuned. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. If you just tuned in, we've having an amazing conversation. I'm going to have to go back and listen to this myself. We are talking to, I want to call him, I can't say his last name, but True and Tone Duncan. I'm going to put it like that because I don't like to mess up nobody's name because I don't want nobody to mess up my name. We're talking about how you can go raw, have a raw detox or a raw diet incorporated, and you can start small and take baby steps. And he's going to tell you, he walked us through a day for him because I couldn't imagine not eating meat. But when he put it like that, I can't do 30 days right away, but I can work toward that. So my goal is I'm going to try 7 days, and I'm going to start Sunday because I'm going out of town Saturday. So I'm going to start Sunday and see if I can go from Sunday to Saturday and see what it does for me. And then I'll talk about it on the show. I want to have back, tell individuals how they can get involved in your journey and your platform and what you're doing.
Thank you. So I'm doing a campaign right now. Every single year, what we do is we go out to what we consider to be food deserts, areas where they really need to have a conversation about healthy foods. And, the best people to talk to about that directly are the children. So what we do is we give 100% fruit smoothies to the kids. These are typically smoothies that would cost $10 at a store. We give them away 100% free, 100% fruit. It's a conduit for us to be able to communicate with the kids, talk to them about their importance, talk to them about how they can start to invest in their own health by making strong choices and suggestions to their moms. And we also get a chance to talk to some moms and talk to them about how to eat healthier on a budget, because we understand that the economy dictates everything, right? Exactly. And so what we do, we have a fundraiser right now, and it's on Facebook. Last year, we did a Facebook fundraiser, and Facebook found out about this fundraiser. It was Operation Desert Smoothie. And they actually did an entire feature presentation. Yeah. So they market their donation page, and they used our campaign as a success story for their campaign. So they were out there in Maywood with us, and we did a full filming. We were in Oak Park. We were on 63rd and King Drive. We were even out in Dalton. So they followed us all over the hood. Yes, they did. And they saw wonderful people. They saw engaging children and very, very caring and concerned parents. And these are the people that I deal with every day. And so they can go to my page. It's True Biniz, TRUBINIZ, on Facebook. And I also have a Facebook page called Operation Desert Smoothie. And they can go and be a part of that, be active, be a part of this movement, and start to create change in your own communities by being one of the influencers to get groups going on in your own neighborhoods. So that's what I hope, and hopefully you'll see me around in your neighborhood doing a little something.
Well, I'm going to definitely contact you off air to see how I can get that in my community, because obesity is real, and I'm seeing small children that are obese already, and they haven't even hit puberty, let alone teenage years. Right. And so we need to try to get a handle. Any part I can do to give back to the community, definitely want to get involved in that, which brought me to an aha moment I'm going to share with Tony after the show about the smoothie campaign and the detox journey. So, Burl, tell us about the oils.
Before we jump into the oils, if I may, can you kind of tell me how you choose the communities that you go into?
Oh, so it's so awesome. How I choose the communities is because I've got some really, really alpha people on my Facebook page and in my friend groups who say, okay, you going to come to my community next.
I like that.
I want you here. I already to date.
Oh, that's good.
So, and that's how we ended up.
Reach out to.
Yeah, so March 23rd, we'll be on 63rd and King Drive. And
not March 20th, you mean May?
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. May 23rd. Okay. So that's next Wednesday.
You're going to be where?
We'll be on 63rd and King Drive. A New Beginnings Church acquired. They tore down a drug and prostitution hotel and turned that into a blacktop, a basketball court. So we'll be there.
Did they?
Yeah. So we'll be there giving away smoothies from 3 p.m. So that's 3 p.m. May 23rd. And we'll even have CNN out there and some other journalists taking a look at that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We have to definitely spread.
Yeah, because I missed the last one. You have to send that to me so we can share it on a page. Okay, Burl. Now tell me how I can help. I need a remedy for my migraines.
Okay.
Please.
Well, I've got the remedy for you. That's the great news.
All right.
So let's talk about peppermint oil. Okay. Let's start there because that's really a popular one. So peppermint is great for headaches, and you just apply just a couple drops. And you actually do a palm diffuser first. You just put a couple drops in the palm of your hand.
Like right here.
Yes. And you rub your hands together. And then you cup your face without putting your hands in your eyes. And you inhale deeply 3 times.
Now, is this before or when you feel it coming on?
This is when you feel it coming on.
Okay.
And it helps, it acts immediately. As I mentioned before, these oils are from the earth and they're plant-based, just like our foods. We're talking about how healthy and how great they are for us, that they communicate with the body on a cellular level. So that means that they have an immediate effect. Okay. And you also take the oil and you massage your temples.
Okay.
You put it in the back of your neck.
The back of your neck, too?
Back of your neck.
Okay.
And over time, the course of the day, you just continue doing what you're doing, you will notice the headache go away. So
you do all 3. So if I wake up or in the middle of the night and I feel a migraine coming on, then I get it. 1 or 2 drops here, cup it, put it here, do my temples, and then to the back of my neck.
Back of your neck.
Okay.
In fact, my son, who's a teenager, a lot of teenagers are skeptics. So he didn't believe that these oils worked.
It's like me.
Yes. So I had him do just that. I had him do the palm diffuser. He rubbed it on his temples, put it on the back of his neck, and he continued with his day. He had to come back to tell me that night how well the oils work.
Are you kidding?
And that he was able to sleep soundly that night. And this is a teenager.
People have been telling me this for years.
It is amazing.
And I am going to actually try it this time.
And not all oils are created equally.
Okay.
doTERRA oils are sourced where they grow best.
Is that the letter D, then TERRA?
It
or
is actually the letter DOTERRA. doTERRA. And for people who don't know what oils are, they are aromatic compounds of plants extracted from seeds, flowers, bark, roots, things like that. And they are steam distilled or they're cold pressed so that they can keep the plant's most powerful healing components alive.
Wow.
So it is magic in a bottle, if you will, because a lot of the things that work best for humans come from the earth. Just like we've been talking about.
Because we didn't have medicine back in the day. Right.
So once you understand that, you really can start the process of being your best self, which I think is really important.
It is.
Well, I think a lot of the essential oils are also the foods that we eat.
Absolutely.
And, Hippocrates, after studying in Egypt, came back and told the Greeks, let your food be your medicine and let your medicine be your food. And when you understand that these food sources can be used medicinally.
Absolutely.
We realize everything we need is already, it was here when we got here.
Here when we got here. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because back in the day, they didn't, my mother and my grandmother always said, we didn't have medicine. You weren't going to the prescription pharmacies,
you think about
getting all these prescriptions filled, and then it's telling you, girl, it's going to cure your red eye, but you're going to get an itch over here and your chin may turn this way.
That's what's happening now with the pharmaceutical industry.
It's $1 billion industry. Yeah. It's going to cure this, but it's going to give you two other things. And you got to decide, do I want to get healed from this, or do I want to get these other two new ailments?
Correct. It's real.
Yeah, my father, as I said, my father's health demise was what really made me focus in on nutrition. And the thing that stays in my mind more than anything else is that he didn't die from the actual issue. He died from the complication of the medicine.
I believe that.
And too many people don't realize that there's no such thing as a healthy medicine. All medicines have a natural destructive part of them. So it's something we don't understand. We think it's because it comes from a doctor, it must be good for you. But the reality is that oftentimes the medicines themselves create their own disorders.
You have to do your homework. Just because a doctor say you need to have this done, you have to do your due diligence, do your homework, get a second, a third, or even a fourth opinion. Not saying that he's wrong, but this is your body, this is your life. So if there's a mistake or there's another option and you don't check it, then it's shame on you. And I think a lot of times we as individuals, we can't handle change. You have where you're deciphering, if I do this, then what's going to happen? But if you don't do it, you won't know. And then if I do this, and what if it don't work? But what if it do? You struggle with that with your mind, and then you comfortable. So you don't want to change. I'm okay like this. When you're not, but you don't want to take that step because that requires a commitment. It requires dedication. It requires consistency. Well, if you just stay like you are, then you don't have nothing to worry about away. But eventually
you do.
Subconsciously, you will have something to worry about. So I want to thank you guys again for being on here. I can't tell you nothing more but that you need to try this. And I do have free samples. It's organic. It has several organic natural ingredients. It will suppress your appetite. It will lower your cholesterol. It will reduce inflammation. It will improve your digestive system, and it will suppress your appetite. And I'm telling you, if you have not tried it, there's no way you can go to the store and get a sample of anything for free. So I am letting you try it. And if you decide it works for you, then fine. And if it doesn't, it's okay. But at least you have the opportunity of trying. You can't say, I can't afford it, or I don't have the money, because I'm giving away free samples every single day.
Wow.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks to my sponsor, Sam's Club, for providing me their organic water. Thanks, Tony, for his amazing efforts in helping with obesity. feeding our bodies right, because our bodies will heal on their own if we do it the right way. Back in the day, they didn't have medicine. And I want to thank him for his journey in trying to help people do better with their overall health, because this is the only body that counts, really. Right. And can't nobody do it but you. You have to do it, but you got people here that are willing to help you. I want to thank Burl for her oils. I know folks is looking at me saying, I know you ain't finna try her oils, and you didn't try mine several years ago. But I got to try it sooner or later. So I am going to try this peppermint oil. I do want to invite Tony, don't let this be your last time. I want you to come back and share information as it becomes available. Thank you, super producer. Thank you all. In closing, get your free sample of D-Flat Tummy Water, 708-998-3799, 708-998-3799. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you all. In closing, build your own dreams, or someone else will hire you to build theirs, and that would be me. And we're out. Thanks for tuning in. Please share the broadcast.